My beloved child, come closer, be still for a moment and listen to my voice. There is something I must tell you tonight. You have been running for so long, running after approval, running after success, running after wealth, running after people who keep moving further away, running after things this world promised would finally make you whole. And now you are tired. Your soul is weary. Not because you are weak, but because you were never created to carry the burden of chasing what cannot save you. I see the exhaustion hidden behind your smile. I see the silent battles no one knows about. I see the way you search for peace in places that only increase your emptiness. And today I am calling out to you. Stop chasing what cannot save you. Listen carefully, my child. That achievement you are sacrificing your peace for cannot save you. That relationship you are idolizing cannot save you. That money you are desperately trying to accumulate cannot save you. That applause from people cannot save you. That image you try so hard to maintain cannot save you. The world keeps whispering, if you get a little more, then you will finally be enough. But the world is lying to you. It has always lied. Because more will never heal what only my presence can restore. You were never meant to build your identity on temporary things. Everything this world offers is passing away. Beauty fades. Possessions break. Status disappears. People change. Doors close. Trends vanish. What seems so important today can become meaningless tomorrow. Yet you keep pouring your energy into things that cannot hold the weight of your soul. Why, my child? Why do you keep drinking from wells that leave you thirsty? Why do you search for eternal peace in temporary places? Why do you expect created things to do what only your Creator can do? I did not create you to be enslaved by endless striving. I created you for relationship with me. I created you to rest in my love. I created you to walk in peace, not panic. To walk in faith, not fear. To walk in surrender, not desperation. You keep asking, why do I still feel empty even when I achieve what I prayed for? Because the blessing was never meant to replace the blesser. The gift was never meant to take the place of the giver. When your heart makes an idol out of what I gave, even good things become heavy chains. Some of you are chasing success so hard that you have forgotten your soul. You have convinced yourself that if you can just accomplish enough, then you will finally feel worthy. But your worth was never supposed to be earned. I declared your worth long before the world gave its opinion. You are valuable because I formed you. You are loved because I chose you. You are enough because I made you in my image. No promotion can add to that. No rejection can take it away. Some of you are chasing people. You are exhausting yourself trying to be enough for someone who keeps changing the rules. You keep editing yourself to fit into spaces I never designed for you. You are shrinking your spirit to be accepted by people who cannot even accept themselves. My child, hear me clearly. If someone's love requires you to abandon who I created you to be, that love is not from me. Stop begging for crumbs where I have prepared a table. Stop standing at closed doors while I am preparing better ones. Stop chasing people who cannot heal what only my presence can restore. And some of you are chasing comfort. You distract yourself because silence forces you to face your pain. So you scroll endlessly. You consume endlessly. You fill every empty moment with noise. Because deep down you are afraid of what stillness might reveal. But my child, stillness is where healing begins. Silence is where my voice becomes clear. You cannot hear my whisper when your life is full of noise. Be still. Let the distractions fall. Sit with me. Let me reveal what your heart has been trying to avoid. Yes, some truths are painful. Yes, surrender feels uncomfortable. But healing often begins where illusion ends. You have spent too much time chasing what looks good but leaves you empty. Now I am calling you higher. I am calling you deeper. I am calling you back. Come back to me. Come back to the place where striving ends. Come back to the place where peace is not performance-based. Come back to the place where your identity is secure. Come back to the place where my love speaks louder than your fears. You do not need another worldly fix. You need my presence. You do not need another false promise. You need my truth. You do not need another temporary escape. You need eternal restoration. I know the world moves fast. It tells you to hurry, to compete, to prove yourself, to secure everything before it is too late. But my kingdom does not operate through panic. What I have for you will not require frantic chasing. What is from me will come with peace. What is from me will align with truth. What is from me will draw you closer to me, not further away. Stop chasing. Start trusting. Stop grasping. Start surrendering. Stop running. Start resting. There are blessings you have delayed because your hands were too full of lesser things. There is peace waiting for you, but you must release what keeps stealing your attention. There is joy waiting for you, but you must let go of what keeps draining your spirit. There is freedom waiting for you, but first you must stop bowing to what was never worthy of your worship. Ask yourself this: what have you been chasing? What have you believed would save you? What have you placed above me? Be honest. I am not asking to condemn you. I am asking to free you, because I love you too much to let you keep running toward emptiness. The peace you seek is not found in accumulation. It is found in surrender. The love you seek is not found in human approval. It is found in my embrace. The security you seek is not found in possessions. It is found in my promises. The identity you seek is not found in titles. It is found in being mine. Look at me, my child, not at your fears, not at your lack, not at what others have. Look at me. I am still enough. I am still your refuge. I am still your provider. I am still your healer. I am still your peace. And I always will be. The world cannot save you. Success cannot save you. Money cannot save you. Relationships cannot save you. Only I can. So tonight, lay it down. Lay down the pressure. Lay down the striving. Lay down the endless chase. Lay down every false savior. And come to me. Come weary. Come broken. Come uncertain. Come exactly as you are. You do not need to have everything figured out. You only need to take one step toward me. I will meet you there. I will restore what striving has stolen. I will heal what chasing has wounded. I will fill what the world has left empty. And when you finally stop running after what cannot save you, you will discover that the one who truly can save you has been waiting for you all along. I am here. I have not moved. My arms are still open. My mercy is still available. My love is still reaching for you. Stop chasing what cannot save you and come home to me. For in me, you will find what your soul has been searching for all this time. I am enough. And I always will be. My child, there is something the world will never tell you. The things you chase the hardest often become the very things that quietly control you. What you refuse to release eventually begins to rule your heart, and whatever rules your heart will shape your life. That is why so many are trapped. They do not realize they have become servants to the very things they thought would set them free. They wake up every day chasing more recognition, more attention, more possessions, more validation. Yet no matter how much they gain, peace keeps slipping through their fingers like sand. Because peace cannot be purchased. Peace cannot be manufactured. Peace cannot be earned through endless striving. Peace is found only in me. Some of you have spent years building kingdoms that look impressive to the world, but leave your soul abandoned. You have built platforms but neglected prayer. You have cultivated appearance but neglected truth. You have strengthened your image while your spirit grows weak. And though others applaud what they can see, I see what no one else notices. I see the emptiness behind the achievements. I see the tears you hide after the applause fades. I see the anxiety that keeps you awake when everything around you looks successful. And I ask you, what profit is there in gaining the whole world if your soul remains starving? What value is there in applause if your heart is still restless? What is success if it costs the peace I long to give you? The enemy wants to keep you distracted. He knows that if he cannot destroy you, he will try to exhaust you. He will keep placing shiny distractions in your path. He will convince you that one more accomplishment, one more relationship, one more breakthrough will finally satisfy your soul. But his promises are empty. He offers glitter without substance, noise without peace, motion without purpose. He keeps many running in circles, mistaking movement for progress. But I am calling you to stop, to pause long enough to ask, where is all of this leading me? If the road you are on is pulling you away from my presence, it is not the road I designed for you. If your pursuit is costing you your peace, your integrity, your joy, and your closeness with me, then what you are chasing is too expensive. There are some things you must release, not because they are evil, but because they have become too important in your heart. Even good things become dangerous when they take my place. A dream can become an idol. A blessing can become an obsession. A desire can become a prison. And idols always overpromise and underdeliver. They ask for everything and give nothing eternal in return. My child, I did not create you to live enslaved to endless pursuit. I created you to walk in freedom. Freedom is not having everything the world says you need. Freedom is needing nothing more than my presence to know you are complete. Do you understand? Real freedom is not found in possession. It is found in surrender. The world says, take more. I say, trust more. The world says, prove yourself. I say, rest in who you already are in me. The world says, fight for your worth. I say, you are already worth dying for. You do not need to chase what I have already secured for you. You do not need to beg for what I have promised. You do not need to force doors open that I have not assigned to your life. Trust my timing. Trust my process. Trust my wisdom. There are things I have withheld from you not to punish you, but to protect you. There are doors I closed because they would have led you away from your purpose. There are prayers I delayed because your heart needed preparation. There are desires I have not fulfilled because I am shaping something better than what you can currently imagine. Would you trust a child to understand every decision of a loving parent? Then trust me. Even when you do not fully understand what I am doing, I see the full picture. You only see the moment. I know what lies ahead. You only know what feels urgent right now. And many times what feels urgent to you is not what is eternal. Slow down, my child. The life I am calling you into is not built on frantic striving. It is built on faithful obedience. It is built on daily surrender. It is built on quiet trust. Some miracles happen instantly. Others unfold slowly, one surrendered step at a time. Do not despise the slow work I am doing in you. The roots I am growing beneath the surface will sustain the fruit that comes later. What you are becoming matters more than what you are obtaining. The world celebrates results. I value transformation. The world looks at what is visible. I look at what is eternal. And what I am building in you cannot be measured by likes, numbers, titles, or applause. I am shaping your character. I am refining your heart. I am teaching you dependence. I am preparing you for a glory this world cannot imitate. So release your grip. Release the need to control every outcome. Release the fear of missing out. Release the pressure to keep up. Release the burden of comparison. Comparison is one of the enemy's sharpest weapons. It blinds you to your own calling by making you obsessed with someone else's path. But I have not called you to imitate what I am doing in another. I have called you to walk faithfully in what I have designed for you. Your timeline is different. Your assignment is different. Your preparation is different. And your reward will be different. Stop measuring your life against people who were given different instructions. Look to me. Keep your eyes fixed on me. When Peter looked at the storm, he sank. When he looked at me, he walked. The same is true for you. If you keep staring at the chaos around you, fear will consume you. If you keep staring at what others have, envy will distract you. If you keep staring at what you lack, discouragement will weaken you. But if you look at me, faith will rise. And when faith rises, peace follows. I am not asking you to have all the answers. I am asking you to trust the one who does. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not abandoned. You are being led. Even now, when you cannot fully see my hand is guiding you. Even now, when my voice seems quiet, my silence is not absence. I am working in ways you cannot yet perceive. So stop chasing what cannot save you. Stop bowing to temporary things. Stop building your life around fragile foundations. Build upon me. Anchor yourself in my truth. Let my love define you. Let my peace steady you. Let my promises sustain you. And one day you will look back and realize that the things you once thought you needed were only shadows compared to what I had prepared for you. You will understand why I asked you to let go. You will see why I called you away from lesser things. You will recognize that every surrender was making room for something eternal. So choose me again. Choose me today. Choose what lasts. Choose what heals. Choose what saves. Because when everything else fades, I will remain. When every earthly thing passes away, I will remain. When every false promise collapses, I will remain. And if you have me, you have everything your soul could ever need. Come back, my child. The chase ends here. Rest begins now. And in that rest, you will finally discover the freedom your heart has been longing for. I am waiting. Come home. My beloved child, stay here with me a little longer. Do not rush past this moment. There are truths your soul has been longing to hear, even if your mind has been too distracted to notice. You have spent so much of your life trying to outrun emptiness. You filled your calendar so you would not have to sit with the ache inside. You filled your hands with things so you would not feel the void in your heart. You kept moving because slowing down meant facing the questions you were afraid to ask. Questions like, why do I still feel empty after getting what I wanted? Why does every victory feel satisfying for only a moment? Why does my soul still ache even when everything looks fine? My child, these questions are not signs of failure. They are invitations. They are the quiet knocking of eternity on the door of your heart. They are reminders that your soul was designed for something greater than temporary satisfaction. I placed eternity within you. That is why nothing in this world can fully satisfy you. That is why every earthly success eventually feels incomplete. That is why every human love, no matter how beautiful, still leaves room for longing. You were made for me, and until your heart rests in me, it will keep searching. The ache you feel is not your enemy. It is evidence that your soul remembers where home is. Do not numb that ache. Do not silence it with distractions. Listen to it. Let it lead you back to me. There are many who spend their entire lives misunderstanding this hunger. They think they need more success, more money, more pleasure, more admiration, more control, so they keep feeding their flesh while starving their spirit. And no matter how much they consume, their emptiness only grows. Because spiritual hunger cannot be satisfied with earthly things. A thirsty soul cannot be refreshed by temporary pleasures. Only living water can satisfy living souls. And I am that living water. Come drink deeply from my presence. Come receive what no possession can offer. Come experience the peace that does not depend on circumstances. Some of you have been running for so long that you no longer remember what rest feels like. Even when your body stops, your mind keeps racing. Even in moments of silence, your thoughts are loud. Your heart has become conditioned to strive. You have forgotten how to simply be with me, but I am teaching you again. Rest is not laziness. Rest is trust. When you rest in me, you declare, God is enough. When you release your anxious striving, you proclaim, I believe He is working even when I cannot see it. When you choose stillness over panic, you reveal faith. This kind of rest confuses the world. The world believes peace must be earned, but my peace is received. The world believes security must be built through control, but true security is found through surrender. The world says your value depends on your productivity, but I say your value was settled before you ever accomplished anything. You do not need to prove your worth to me. You do not need to earn my affection. You do not need to perform for my approval. I loved you before your first success. I loved you before your greatest failure. I loved you before anyone ever recognized your name. And I will love you long after earthly titles are forgotten. Why then do you keep chasing validation from people whose opinions change like shifting sand? Why do you seek affirmation from a world that does not even know its own identity? Why do you allow temporary voices to define what I have already declared? Listen to me instead. You are mine. You are chosen. You are seen. You are known. You are deeply loved. No rejection can rewrite what I have spoken. No failure can cancel my purpose for your life. No delay can erase my promises. I know there are nights when fear whispers to you. Fear tells you that if you stop striving, everything will fall apart. Fear says if you stop chasing, you will miss your chance. Fear insists that everything depends on your effort. But fear is a liar. Your life is not held together by your striving. It is held together by my power. The sun rises each morning not because of your effort, but because of my command. The breath in your lungs continues not because of your control, but because of my mercy. The earth remains steady not because of human striving, but because I sustain it. If I can hold the stars in place, do you not think I can hold your life? Release your fear. Release your need to control. Release your obsession with outcomes. Trust me enough to loosen your grip. Sometimes what feels like losing control is actually entering deeper trust. Some blessings cannot enter your life until your hands are open enough to receive them, and hands tightly clenched around lesser things cannot receive greater things. So let go. Let go of what has become too heavy. Let go of expectations I never placed on you. Let go of the pressure to become what the world admires. Become who I created you to be. That is enough. There is such beauty in surrender. The world sees surrender as weakness, but heaven sees surrender as strength. It takes great courage to stop striving. It takes great faith to release what feels secure. It takes spiritual maturity to trust my unseen work more than visible circumstances. And this is the faith I am growing in you, a faith not dependent on immediate results, a faith not shaken by delays, a faith not controlled by appearances, a faith anchored in my character. Do you know why this matters? Because storms will come, seasons will shift, people will disappoint you, plans will change, opportunities will fade, but if your life is anchored in me, you will remain unshaken. The winds may blow, the rain may fall, the waves may rise, but what is built upon me cannot be destroyed. This is why I keep calling you back, not to deprive you, not to limit you, but to establish you upon what lasts forever. Everything I ask you to release is because I have something better. Every false comfort I remove is to make room for true peace. Every idol I expose is because I desire your freedom. I am not trying to take from you. I am trying to rescue you. I am pulling you away from things that cannot carry the weight of your hope. I am leading you toward what is eternal. Trust my leading, even when it feels unfamiliar, even when it requires sacrifice, even when it means walking away from what once felt important. Because every step toward me is a step toward life, and every step away from false saviors is a step toward freedom. One day you will thank me for the things I did not allow. One day you will understand the doors I closed. One day you will see how my interruptions were acts of mercy. Until then, trust me. Walk with me. Rest in me. Seek me. Above all else, choose me. When you wake, choose me. When fear rises, choose me. When temptation calls, choose me. When uncertainty surrounds you, choose me. When the world demands your attention, choose me again. This daily choosing is how your soul is transformed. This daily surrender is how chains are broken. This daily trust is how peace takes root. And slowly, quietly, beautifully, you will begin to change. The things that once captivated you will lose their grip. The things you once idolized will lose their shine. The noise that once controlled you will grow faint. And my voice will become clearer. My presence will become sweeter. My peace will become deeper. Then you will understand. The life you were searching for was never found in chasing. It was found in abiding. The salvation you longed for was never hidden in worldly gain. It was always found in me. So stop running now, my child. The race toward emptiness is over. The striving can end. The restless searching can cease. Come sit with me. Come rest in my love. Come dwell in my presence. You do not need to chase what cannot save you. You already have the one who can. And I will never fail you. I will never abandon you. I will never stop calling you back to what is real. I am your refuge. I am your peace. I am your salvation. And I am enough. Forever enough. My child, if only you could see what I see. If only for one moment I could let you look through my eyes, you would finally understand why I have been asking you to slow down. You would understand why some things had to fall apart, why certain people had to walk away, why some prayers seemed unanswered, why some doors remained closed no matter how hard you pushed. You called it loss. You called it rejection. You called it disappointment. But many of those moments were my mercy in disguise. There were paths you begged to walk that would have led you into deeper emptiness. There were opportunities you desired that would have stolen your peace. There were relationships you fought to keep that would have drained the life from your spirit. And because I love you, I said no. I know my no often feels painful in the moment. I know my silence can feel confusing. I know waiting can feel unbearable. But my child, my denial is never without purpose. When I withhold something, it is never because I delight in your disappointment. It is because I see what you cannot. I see what that path would cost you. I see what that door would awaken in your heart. I see the burdens hidden beneath what appears beautiful. And because I love you too much to let you settle for what cannot sustain you, I intervene. You have cried over things I protected you from. You have mourned things that would have wounded you. You have grieved losses that were actually rescues. Trust my interruptions. Trust the detours I allow. Trust the seasons where things feel uncertain. What feels like delay is often preparation. What feels like absence is often hidden work. What feels like emptiness is often sacred space I am clearing to fill with something eternal. Do not fear the emptiness. Sometimes I must empty your hands before I can fill them. Sometimes I must strip away false securities before you can fully trust me. Sometimes I must allow your plans to collapse so you will discover that your true foundation was never meant to be those plans. The collapse is not always destruction. Sometimes it is revelation. Sometimes it is freedom. Sometimes it is the beginning of everything I intended for you. I know how frightening it feels when familiar things begin to crumble. You instinctively want to rebuild what was lost. You want to rush and repair. You want to fill the silence. You want to restore what was comfortable. But pause. Do not rebuild what I have dismantled. Do not resurrect what I have released from your life. Do not chase what I have already called you to leave behind. Some things ended because their purpose in your life was complete. Some seasons closed because they could not carry you where I am taking you. Some losses happened because your future required their absence. You cannot carry yesterday's attachments into tomorrow's calling. And if you insist on dragging old weights into new seasons, you will only slow yourself down. Let it go. Let them go. Let the old version of yourself go. The person who believed worth had to be earned. The person who chased approval. The person who confused attention for love. The person who mistook activity for purpose. The person who thought peace could be purchased through achievement. That version of you has carried enough. It is time to release what no longer belongs to who you are becoming. Transformation requires surrender. You cannot become who I created you to be while clinging to who fear taught you to become. I am calling you into deeper freedom. But freedom often begins with letting go. I know letting go feels vulnerable. It feels uncertain. It feels like stepping into unfamiliar waters. Yet remember this. Peter only experienced the miracle when he stepped out of what felt safe. The miracle was not in the boat. The miracle was in trusting me beyond the boat. And I am asking you to step beyond your familiar fears, beyond your dependence on what once made you feel secure, beyond your addiction to striving, beyond your attachment to outcomes. Walk toward me, even if your faith feels small, even if your hands are trembling, even if your understanding is incomplete. I do not require perfect confidence. I only ask for willing trust. A trembling yes is still a yes. A weak prayer is still heard in heaven. A small act of surrender still opens space for my power to move. Do not underestimate what I can do through your simple obedience. One surrendered step can change everything. One decision to trust me can alter the course of your life. One moment of release can break chains that have bound generations. You do not always need dramatic action. Sometimes transformation begins quietly. A whispered prayer, a surrendered thought, a moment of stillness, a choice to stop striving, a decision to trust instead of panic. These small moments matter. Heaven sees them. I see them, and I honor every step you take toward me. Do not become discouraged if progress feels slow. The deepest works are rarely instant. Roots grow in hidden places. Healing often unfolds beneath the surface long before visible change appears. Trust the hidden work. Trust what I am doing in secret. Trust the process of becoming. The world celebrates visible breakthroughs, but heaven rejoices over faithful perseverance. Your unseen surrender matters. Your quiet obedience matters. Your private trust matters. And though others may not recognize what I am doing within you, I do. I see every battle you fight. I see every temptation you resist. I see every time you choose prayer over panic. I see every tear shed in surrender. None of it is wasted. I am using it all. I am shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, freer, and more anchored in truth. One day, what feels difficult now will become your testimony. The very struggle that once exhausted you will become proof of my faithfulness. The emptiness that once scared you will become the space where my presence became real. The losses that once broke your heart will reveal the beauty of what I was protecting. And you will say, "Now I understand." You will see that what you thought was deprivation was actually deliverance. What you thought was rejection was redirection. What you thought was silence was preparation. And you will praise me for what once confused you. Until that day, trust me, even without full understanding, even when answers are delayed, even when the path feels uncertain. Faith is not the absence of questions. Faith is choosing trust while questions remain. So trust me now, not later when everything makes sense, not only when the blessing arrives. Trust me here. Trust me in the waiting. Trust me in the unknown. Trust me in the letting go, because this is where freedom is born. This is where striving dies. This is where peace begins to breathe again within your soul. The world will continue calling for your attention. It will keep offering substitutes. It will keep promising salvation through temporary things. But now you know better. Now you recognize the emptiness behind those promises. Now you can turn away. Now you can choose what is real. Choose me, my child. Again and again, choose me. When the world shouts, choose my whisper. When anxiety rises, choose my peace. When fear presses in, choose my promises. When old patterns call, choose freedom. You do not need to return to what I have already delivered you from. You do not need to resume the chase. You are no longer a prisoner of what once controlled you. You are mine, and in me you are free. So breathe, rest, release, receive. The striving is over. The search is ending. The wandering is finished. You have found what your soul has been looking for. You have found home, and home is not a place built by human hands. Home is my presence. Stay here, remain here, abide here, for here at last your soul can rest. My precious child, there is one more thing I need you to understand. The reason this world's promises fail you is not because you are too difficult to satisfy. It is because your soul was designed for something infinitely greater. You were never created for shallow living. You were never meant to spend your days chasing fading things and calling it purpose. You were not formed merely to survive from one distraction to the next. You were created to know me, to walk with me, to hear my voice, to reflect my love, to carry my peace into a restless world. This is your purpose, not to accumulate endlessly, not to impress endlessly, not to perform endlessly, but to abide deeply. The enemy fears a soul that learns how to abide. He fears the person who no longer depends on worldly approval. He fears the one who is no longer manipulated by comparison. He fears the heart that has learned contentment in my presence. Why? Because a soul anchored in me cannot be easily shaken. A person who has discovered that I am enough becomes dangerous to darkness. The world cannot control those who are no longer desperate for what it offers. Think about this, my child. So much of what enslaves humanity is built on desperation. Desperation for acceptance. Desperation for significance. Desperation for security. Desperation for pleasure. And desperate people are easily manipulated. They become willing to compromise truth for comfort, willing to abandon peace for success, willing to betray conviction for approval. But when your soul is satisfied in me, desperation loses its power. When you know who you are in me, temptation loses much of its appeal. When my peace fills your heart, counterfeit comforts lose their shine. This is why abiding matters. This is why intimacy with me matters. This is why stillness matters. The world may not understand this. It often mistakes stillness for weakness. It sees rest as laziness. It sees surrender as failure. but heaven knows the truth. Stillness is strength under my covering. Rest is trust made visible. Surrender is faith in action. Do not be ashamed of the pace I am setting for your life. Some people are sprinting toward things they will later regret. Some are climbing ladders leaning against the wrong walls. Some are applauded by crowds while quietly losing themselves. Do not envy paths that end in emptiness. Just because a road is popular does not mean it is wise. Just because many are running does not mean they are moving toward life. Wide roads often lead to destruction. Narrow paths often lead to peace. Trust the path I have chosen for you, even when it seems slower. The pace of grace is often different from the pace of ambition. Grace teaches patience. Grace teaches trust. Grace teaches endurance. Grace teaches surrender. And these lessons shape souls capable of carrying true blessing. You keep asking me for greater things, greater influence, greater opportunity, greater impact. And I hear those prayers. But understand this, greater blessing requires deeper surrender. If your identity depends on success now, then greater success would only deepen your bondage. If your peace depends on circumstances now, then greater responsibility would only increase your anxiety. If your heart still clings to idols now, then more increase would only strengthen those attachments. That is why I work first on your foundation. I care more about who you are becoming than what you are obtaining. Character before platform, peace before promotion, depth before expansion, intimacy before influence. These are my priorities, and because they are my priorities, let them become yours. Do not measure your life by what the world celebrates. Measure it by what heaven values. Ask yourself, am I growing in trust? Am I growing in humility? Am I growing in peace? Am I becoming more like Christ? These are the measures that matter. At the end of your life, titles will not matter. Possessions will not matter. Popularity will not matter. Only what was rooted in eternity will remain. Only what was built in me will endure. Live for what lasts. There will come a day when every temporary thing fades. Every earthly achievement will pass. Every possession will be left behind. Every human applause will fall silent. And in that moment, only one question will matter. Did you know me? Not merely know about me. Not merely speak of me. Not merely acknowledge me when convenient. But truly know me. Did you walk with me? Did you trust me? Did you allow my love to transform you? Did you build your life upon my truth? This is what matters. Do not wait until the end to realize what truly counts. Realize it now. Let this truth shape your choices today. Choose prayer over panic. Choose truth over appearance. Choose surrender over control. Choose depth over distraction. Choose my presence over every counterfeit comfort. And if choosing me costs you something, remember this. Anything lost for my sake is never truly lost. What you release into my hands is never wasted. Every sacrifice made in obedience becomes seed for eternal harvest. You may not always see the fruit immediately, but trust that heaven records every act of surrender. Nothing given to me is forgotten. Nothing entrusted to me is mishandled. Nothing surrendered to me is wasted. My child, some of you fear that if you stop chasing worldly things, your life will become smaller. But the opposite is true. When you stop chasing what cannot save you, your life becomes larger in the ways that matter. Your joy becomes deeper. Your peace becomes steadier. Your purpose becomes clearer. Your relationships become healthier. Your spirit becomes freer. And your heart becomes capable of carrying the kind of blessing that does not corrupt. This is the life I desire for you. A life marked not by frantic striving, but by quiet confidence. A life rooted not in fear, but in trust. A life guided not by pressure, but by peace. A life that reflects heaven even while walking through earth. This kind of life is possible, not through your effort, not through self-discipline alone, not through perfect behavior, but through abiding in me. Stay close to me. Return often to my presence. Guard your heart against distraction. Protect your peace. Be intentional about what shapes your soul. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every opportunity deserves your yes. Not every open door is mine. Discernment is born in intimacy. The closer you walk with me, the clearer my leading becomes. And when my voice becomes familiar, The counterfeit voices lose their power. This is why I keep calling you back, again and again. Not because I am distant, but because I desire closeness. Not because I wish to burden you, but because I long to free you. Not because I want to restrict your life, but because I want to give you abundant life. The abundance I offer is different from the world's definition. It is not measured by excess. It is measured by fullness. Fullness of peace, fullness of joy, fullness of truth, fullness of purpose, fullness of love. This fullness is found only in me. So stop settling for substitutes. Stop feeding your soul crumbs when I have prepared a feast. Stop drinking from broken wells when living water is freely offered. Stop exhausting yourself pursuing what was never meant to sustain you. Come to me. Come fully. Come honestly. Come without pretense. Bring your fears. Bring your regrets. Bring your disappointments. Bring your weary striving. Lay it all before me. I can carry what you cannot. I can heal what you cannot repair. I can restore what you thought was ruined. I can satisfy what the world has left starving. Trust me enough to come empty, for empty hands can finally receive. And when you receive what only I can give, you will never again confuse temporary things for eternal salvation. You will know. Deep within your spirit, you will know. I am the answer your soul has always sought. I am the peace behind every longing. I am the rest behind every restless search. I am the home beyond every wandering. And when you truly understand this, you will stop chasing. You will stop striving. You will stop searching for rescue in places that cannot save, because you will have found me. And in finding me, you will have found everything. My beloved child, before this moment passes, I need to speak to the deepest part of your heart, the part of you that still hesitates, the part that still wonders. What if letting go costs too much? What if surrender leaves me with nothing? What if I trust God and still face disappointment? I hear those fears. I understand the trembling beneath your questions. You have lived through moments that taught you to hold tightly, moments of loss, moments of betrayal, moments when what felt secure suddenly disappeared. And somewhere along the way, your heart learned to protect itself through control. You began believing that if you could just manage everything carefully enough, strive hard enough, prepare enough, achieve enough, then maybe pain could be avoided. But control is a heavy burden for human hands. You were never meant to carry it. Control promises safety but often produces exhaustion. It whispers, if you can hold everything together, you will finally have peace. Yet the harder you grip, the more restless your soul becomes. Why? Because peace was never meant to come from your control. Peace comes from your trust in my sovereignty. You do not have to understand everything to trust me. A child does not need to understand every step of the journey to trust the hand of a loving father. And I am inviting you to trust my hand even when the road ahead is unclear. Some of you have mistaken surrender for loss, but surrender to me is not loss. It is exchange. You exchange anxiety for peace. You exchange striving for rest. You exchange confusion for guidance. You exchange emptiness for fullness. You exchange temporary substitutes for eternal reality. Everything I ask you to release is so I can place something better in your hands. Would you cling to broken pieces when I am offering wholeness? Would you hold tightly to shadows when I am offering substance? Would you continue chasing what cannot save you when salvation itself is standing before you? Look at how long your striving has exhausted you. Look at how many sleepless nights came from trying to control what was never yours to control. Look at how many tears came from pursuing what could never truly satisfy. Has the chase delivered what it promised? Has striving given your soul peace? Has worldly approval quieted your deepest fears? Has temporary comfort healed your inner emptiness? You already know the answer. This is why I am calling you now. Not tomorrow. Not someday when life feels more convenient. Now. Because every moment spent chasing what cannot save you is a moment your soul remains unnecessarily burdened. Enough wandering. Enough striving. Enough postponing surrender. This is your invitation to freedom. You do not need to wait until you feel stronger. You do not need to wait until your faith feels perfect. You do not need to wait until every question is answered. Come as you are. Come with trembling hands. Come with unfinished understanding. Come with fragile faith. Bring me your uncertainty. Bring me your doubts. Bring me your exhaustion. I am not intimidated by your weakness. I am drawn to your honesty. It is often in your weakest moments that my strength becomes most visible. The world tells you to hide weakness. I invite you to bring it to me. The world tells you to perform. I invite you to be real. The world tells you to prove yourself. I invite you to receive my grace. Grace is not earned. It is received. This truth offends pride because pride always wants to achieve what can only be accepted. Pride says, I must deserve this. Grace says, it is freely given. And many of you remain trapped because you keep trying to earn what I already offered through love. You strive for peace I freely give. You chase acceptance I already declared. You seek identity I already established. Rest, my child. Rest in what has already been secured through my love. Stop living as though everything depends on your performance. Your life is not a test you must pass to earn my affection. You are already loved. Deeply, completely, unchangingly. This love is not fragile. It does not disappear when you fail. It does not diminish when you struggle. It does not weaken when your faith feels small. My love remains. Always. And when this truth sinks deeply into your spirit, striving begins to lose its power. Because once you know you are fully loved, you stop desperately seeking love in broken places. Once you know your worth is secure, you stop chasing validation from unstable voices. Once you know I hold your future, you stop exhausting yourself trying to force outcomes. Love brings rest. Truth brings freedom. Trust brings peace. This is the life I want for you. Not a life free from challenge, but a life anchored through every challenge. Not a life without storms, but a life unshaken within them. Not a life controlled by circumstance, but a life sustained by my presence. Storms will still come. Disappointments will still happen. Loss will still touch your earthly journey. But when your life is rooted in me, these things will no longer define you. They may shake your surroundings. They may test your faith. They may stretch your understanding. But they will not destroy your peace, because peace rooted in me cannot be stolen by circumstance. This is what the world cannot understand. It sees peace as something fragile, dependent on perfect conditions, dependent on external stability, dependent on visible success. But my peace is different. It remains in prison cells. It remains in waiting seasons. It remains in unanswered questions. It remains in valleys and wilderness places. Because my peace is not built upon circumstance. It is built upon my unchanging nature. And I do not change. I am faithful when life feels uncertain. I am present when you feel alone. I am working when you cannot see progress. I am trustworthy when answers are delayed. I am enough when everything else feels lacking. This is why I call you back to me again and again. Because every time you return, your soul remembers what is true. Every time you rest in my presence, fear loses some of its voice. Every time you choose trust, anxiety loosens its grip. Every time you surrender, freedom grows stronger. Transformation is not always dramatic. Often it happens quietly. A little more trust today. A little less fear tomorrow. A little deeper peace next week. A little stronger faith next month. Until one day you realize the things that once ruled your heart no longer control you. The approval you once desperately needed no longer defines you. The fears that once drove your decisions no longer dictate your path. The idols you once chased no longer attract you. And in their place is something far greater: steady peace, quiet confidence, sacred clarity, holy freedom. This is what happens when you stop chasing what cannot save you. This is what happens when your soul finally learns to rest in me. You become free. Free to love without desperation. Free to work without obsession. Free to dream without anxiety. Free to walk without fear. Free to live from fullness instead of striving from emptiness. This is the freedom I purchased for you. Do not return to lesser things. Do not go back to the exhausting chase. Do not rebuild the chains I have broken. Stand firm in the freedom I offer. Guard your heart carefully. Watch what captures your attention. Be mindful of what shapes your desires. What you repeatedly behold will slowly form what you become. So behold me, Fix your eyes on truth. Fill your mind with my promises. Stay close to my presence. Abide in my love. And when the temptation to chase empty things returns, as it surely will, remember this moment. Remember what I am telling you now. Nothing outside of me can rescue your soul. Nothing outside of me can complete what only I can fill. Nothing outside of me can offer the peace your heart was designed to know. I alone am your source. I alone am your refuge. I alone am your salvation. And if you have me, you lack nothing essential. So breathe deeply now. Let the striving leave your spirit. Let the pressure fall from your shoulders. Let the false burdens drop to the ground. You do not need to carry them anymore. I am here. I have always been here. And my invitation remains open. Stop chasing what cannot save you. Come rest in the one who can. Come home to my peace. Come home to my presence. Come home to me. And there at last, you will find the stillness your soul has been searching for all along. My child, if your heart is still listening, then stay with me a little longer. There is a tenderness in this moment that I do not want you to miss. For so long you have lived as though peace were something waiting somewhere in the future. You have convinced yourself, when I finally achieve enough, then I will rest. When life finally becomes stable, then I will have peace. When people finally understand me, then I will feel secure. When my circumstances finally improve, then I will breathe freely. But listen carefully. Peace is not waiting at the end of your next achievement. Rest is not hidden inside your next success. Security is not buried in better circumstances. If peace could be found there, then those who have everything this world offers would be the most fulfilled people on earth. Yet how many sit surrounded by abundance while inwardly starving? How many are celebrated publicly while silently collapsing? How many have reached the very heights they once dreamed of only to discover that the summit is cold and empty without me? The world cannot offer what only heaven can supply. This is why so many keep climbing while their souls grow weaker. They believe the answer is one step higher. One more accomplishment, one more possession, one more victory. But the ladder they are climbing is leaning against emptiness. No matter how high they climb, it will never bring them to life. I am asking you to step down from that ladder, not because I desire less for you, but because I desire what is real for you. There is a difference between ambition and assignment. Ambition often says, make a name for yourself. Assignment says, glorify my name. Ambition says, climb higher so others will notice. Assignment says, walk faithfully wherever I lead. Ambition often seeks elevation. Assignment seeks obedience, and obedience will always lead to greater peace than self-driven ambition. I am not against your dreams. I am not against your growth. I am not against your progress. But I care deeply about what is driving your pursuit. Are you moving from peace or from panic? Are you working from identity or for identity? Are you building with me or merely building for yourself? These questions matter, because two people may appear to do the same thing outwardly, while their hearts are moving in completely different directions. One may be striving from fear. The other may be serving from trust. One may be chasing validation. The other may be walking in obedience. Only I see the hidden motives beneath visible action. And because I love you, I care first about your heart. The condition of your heart shapes the direction of your life. If your heart is ruled by fear, your choices will reflect fear. If your heart is ruled by insecurity, your decisions will be shaped by insecurity. If your heart is anchored in my love, then peace will guide your steps. This is why I keep drawing your attention inward. The greatest battle is not external. It is within. The battle is over what your heart believes. Will you believe the world's constant demand for more? Or will you believe my invitation to rest? Will you believe the lie that says your worth depends on performance? Or will you receive the truth that your worth is already secured in my love? Will you continue chasing what cannot save you? Or will you surrender to the one who already has? Every day your heart chooses. Every thought entertained shapes that choice. Every voice believed influences that direction. This is why you must guard what enters your soul. Be careful what you allow to disciple your desires. The world is constantly preaching, through screens, through comparisons, through advertisements, through culture. Its message is relentless. You are lacking. You need more. You are behind. You are not enough. And if you listen long enough, you begin to live as though these lies are truth. But I tell you now, you are not behind my timing. You are not lacking my provision. You are not forgotten by my love. You are not less because of what you do not yet possess. Your value has never been determined by what is missing from your life. Your value is determined by the one who created you, and I created you with intention, with purpose, with love, with calling. There is no accident in your existence. There is no wasted part of your story. Even your pain is not meaningless. Even your waiting is not empty. Even your disappointments are being woven into something beautiful. I redeem what the world calls broken. I restore what fear has damaged. I breathe life into what seemed finished. This is what I do. So why chase what cannot save when the Savior himself is calling your name? Why keep drinking from broken wells when living water is freely offered? Why keep carrying burdens I never asked you to bear? Lay them down. Lay down the burden of comparison. Lay down the burden of proving yourself. Lay down the burden of forced outcomes. Lay down the burden of trying to manufacture peace through control. These burdens were never yours. They were crushing your spirit because they exceed human strength. You were designed to carry my presence, not impossible pressure. You were designed to walk in faith, not collapse beneath fear. You were designed for relationship, not relentless striving. Come back to simplicity. The world complicates what I intended to be simple. It creates endless formulas for happiness, endless strategies for fulfillment, endless systems for worth. But my invitation remains beautifully simple. Come to me, abide in me, trust me, follow me, rest in me. This is not complicated. It is surrender, and surrender is often simpler than striving, though pride resists it. Pride always wants complexity, because complexity creates the illusion of control. But faith is often astonishingly simple. It says, God is enough. Can your heart say that? Can you truly whisper, God is enough for me? Not merely when life is easy, not merely when blessings are obvious, but even here, even in uncertainty, even in waiting, even when answers are delayed. This is mature faith. This is deep trust. And this is where true freedom begins. When your heart reaches the place where it no longer says, I need this specific outcome to be okay, but instead says, I have God, therefore I will be okay. That is freedom. That is peace. That is the end of chasing. When your soul becomes settled in me, desperation loses its grip. You no longer run frantically after what others chase. You no longer bend yourself to fit expectations I never placed on you. You no longer panic over delays. You no longer fear what you lack. Because your confidence is no longer rooted in circumstance. It is rooted in my character. And my character does not change. I am faithful. Always. I am present. Always. I am sufficient. Always. I am near. Always. The world shifts. People change. Opportunities come and go. But I remain. Steady. Constant. Sure. Build your life there. Build your hopes there. Build your identity there. Everything else is unstable ground. And when you build upon me, storms may shake your surroundings, but they will not destroy your soul. This is the inheritance of those who trust me. A peace the world cannot understand. A joy circumstances cannot steal. A strength that does not depend on visible evidence. A hope anchored beyond what eyes can see. This is what I offer you. Not shallow comfort. Not temporary distraction. But deep abiding life. Life that remains through every season. Life rooted in eternity. So choose again, my child. Choose where your heart will rest. Choose what voice you will trust. Choose what foundation you will build upon. Choose what you will chase. And if your heart is weary of chasing what cannot save, then hear my invitation once more. Stop running. Stop striving. Stop searching in empty places. Turn toward me. I am not disappointed in your wandering. I am not condemning your exhaustion. I am simply welcoming you home. My arms are still open. My mercy is still fresh. My grace is still sufficient. My love is still pursuing you. Come home, my child. The search is over. The answer was never in what you were chasing. The answer has always been me. And I am here, waiting, loving, calling, ready to give your soul the rest it has been longing for. Come and be still. And my child, listen closely. You have spent too many nights believing that if you could just reach one more milestone, then peace would finally come. You told yourself, if I can earn a little more, I will finally rest. If more people notice me, I will finally feel valuable. If I can fix every broken part of my life, I will finally feel whole. But look at how many times you reached what you thought would satisfy you, and still the emptiness returned. The applause faded, the excitement passed, the achievement lost its shine. Why? Because your soul was never designed to be sustained by temporary things. A thirsty man cannot drink sand and expect his thirst to disappear. A starving heart cannot feed on attention and expect to be nourished. Yet this is what the world has taught you to do. It has taught you to chase louder, to consume more, to strive endlessly. It has convinced you that if you keep running fast enough, long enough, hard enough, you will eventually arrive at fulfillment. But where has all that running brought you? Has it brought peace to your spirit? Has it quieted the fear inside your chest? Has it removed the ache that follows you when the room grows silent? No, because peace is not found at the finish line of worldly pursuits. Peace is found in my presence. You keep searching outside for what can only be created within through me. Beloved, there are burdens you were never meant to carry. You were never meant to carry the pressure of proving your worth. You were never meant to carry the fear of being forgotten. You were never meant to carry the crushing expectation of saving yourself. That is why I say to you now, stop trying to rescue yourself with things that are sinking too. A drowning person cannot be saved by grabbing hold of another who is drowning. And yet so often you cling to fragile things for security. You cling to money, though it can vanish overnight. You cling to people, though human hearts can change. You cling to status, though fame fades. You cling to plans, though life can shift in a moment. Everything built apart from me is temporary. This is not to condemn you, it is to awaken you, for I do not expose false foundations to shame you. I expose them so I can rebuild your life upon what will never collapse. There is a holy invitation in this moment, an invitation to release. Release the exhausting need to control every outcome. Release the endless striving to earn what I already freely offer. Release the belief that your value is tied to what you produce. You do not have to perform for my love. You do not have to achieve enough for my acceptance. You do not have to become someone else to be worthy of my grace. I loved you before your first success. I chose you before your first failure. I called you mine before you ever understood my name. That has never changed. The enemy wants you distracted. He wants your eyes fixed on things that glitter but cannot satisfy. He knows that if your attention remains consumed by temporary pursuits, your spirit will remain too exhausted to seek eternal truth. This is why the noise around you has become so loud. So many voices telling you who to become, what to buy, what to chase, what to fear. But my voice is different. I do not shout over the chaos. I whisper to the heart willing to become still. And my whisper says, come back to simplicity, come back to stillness, come back to truth, come back to me. You do not need another false promise. You need my presence, for my presence will do what possessions never could. It will calm what anxiety has stirred. It will heal what disappointment has wounded. It will restore what striving has drained. When you sit with me, the illusions of this world begin to lose their power. The things that once seemed urgent no longer control you. The cravings that once ruled your choices begin to loosen their grip. Why? Because when your soul tastes what is eternal, it no longer settles for what is temporary. Beloved child, there is freedom waiting for you. Freedom from comparison. You do not need to measure your life against another's path. What I have written for you is unique. The pace of your journey does not need to match theirs. While others may appear to be racing ahead, remember this. A life built quickly without me often collapses quickly too. Do not envy what appears successful if it lacks eternal roots. I am doing a deeper work in you. I am building something that can withstand storms. Something lasting, something holy, something real. This season of slowing down, of letting go, of surrendering what cannot save you, it is not loss. It is preparation. I am clearing away what distracts so you can receive what truly matters. And one day you will look back and thank me for what I removed. You will understand that what felt like deprivation was actually deliverance. What felt like delay was actually protection. What felt like emptiness was making room for fullness. So stop chasing what cannot save you. Stop drinking from wells that leave you thirsty. Stop bowing to promises that cannot keep you alive. Lift your eyes higher. Turn your heart toward me. I am the source that never runs dry. I am the peace that does not fade. I am the truth that does not change. And I am waiting, not with condemnation, but with open arms. Come to me, weary one. Bring your restless heart. Bring your disappointments. Bring your questions. Bring your empty hands. You do not need to have it all together. You only need to come. And when you do, you will discover this beautiful truth. The salvation you have been desperately searching for was never found in what you could chase. It was always found in the one who has been chasing after you all along.